Hey witches, it's Willow Moonlight. I have with me today my rose cocoa that I just made. I have to say this is fantastic. The reason why I wanted to make this video was to talk about the struggle of understanding the path that you were attempting to take, or being at the crossroads. So and just to help you understand what I mean by path, I mean what direction I am taking my life in within the next year, 5 years. Think of like your path as your 5-year plan. I don't really like calling it a 5-year plan because I don't know, I just find that in the past when I've tried to plan things out so much, I only ended up being really disappointed. So I'm almost like superstitious around creating plans. I don't know. If you're wondering what all of this back here is, it's just my tarot cards. Don't mind them for now. So it's really hard for me to see clarity when it comes to finding what path I should take next. There are several barriers that I've identified with some possible solutions, but at this very moment, I just don't really know. I just don't know what I want to do, where I want, what steps that I want to take next in my life. I know that Hecate is waiting for me at the crossroads. I don't know how she is so patient, but here is some of the issues that I have when it comes to choosing a path. There's always going to be two paths when you are at the crossroads. There will be one that will be easier than the other. One that has all these twists and turns and bumps, and you can't really see well ahead, and it seems kind of risky. And then there's, of course, the path that seems to be, easier. It's well lit. It's just so much clearer. You can see so far ahead. And it often even seems like a more reasonable choice. However, I can't identify in concrete terms in my own life what that is. I understand it in an abstract way, but how do I take the concepts of two paths and look at my own life and say, these are my two choices that I have to make? How do I know which choice is the bumpy road that's going to be worth it in the end versus the one that is more sensible and you can see the beginning, middle, and end so clearly? I think also in my past, I have taken the risky, bumpy road and it just didn't work out the way I hoped it did. And then the more sensible path ended up being the very thing I was looking for. It's just so, it's not easy, but we always think that, the path the path less taken is the one that we should take. But which path is it? Because some people are these wild dreamers that always take a risk, but maybe they need some sensibility. Maybe the sensibility path is the one that's less taken. I don't know. But anyways, that is, my difficulties in identifying and labeling my choices. I think I know my choices. I have one or the other, but I don't know how to label them. So that is one of the biggest challenges right now. I think I just got a message from the Hecate in my head or something. I think she wants me to reach out to other people. Like, nobody professional, nobody that, you know, knows me super well. Just someone that I can kind of just say, hey, this is going on. What do you think? And I was at a festival not that long ago, about a week ago now, and I went to see a medium, and I was talking to her a lot about, you know, being at the crossroads and just not knowing what I should do, what path I should take. So she told me that I need to become clear of what it is that I want. So maybe that might be a good place to start over, by just figuring out what I want. Because right now I don't know what I want. I'm so indecisive. There's possibilities, there's barriers and conflicts and uncertainties, and I don't really know. I just don't know. But before I went to the festival, I had to actually travel to go to this festival. Before I left, I went to a little shop, and it's funny that today the most random places are selling crystals. I don't know what it is. But anyways, I got an orange calcite crystal. However, the little paper that it came with, it says orange calcite, a stone that is particularly helpful mentally. It can relieve emotional fear, mental breakdown, depression, accidents, rape, divorce, suicidal thoughts. It is particularly helpful with phobias. Orange calcite restores mental and emotional equilibrium. This is something that is so important to me right now, because I think that maybe in identifying what it is that I truly want, I keep thinking about my fears, because my fears control me. They still do, and I really wish they didn't control me. However, I just don't want to wind up in this predicament where I am there with my fears and I'm all alone and I don't have anyone to help me navigate those fears. It's really hard. And I also bought, I had a selenite wand before, much like this one, but I lost it. And I have a gigantic one that I use for my counter and for my cards. But then I got this beauty right here. And also I have like a little mini one about that big. So I'm hoping that the selenite will remove some of that negative energy, so that way I can maybe make my decision, write out what it is that I want much more clear. Another thing that I have is my pendulum right here. I've had a few of these before. Yeah, I like this one a lot. Yeah, this one's kind of special. It's newer, and it's from the town that I currently live in, which has a lot of special meaning to me. I absolutely adore where I live, and I never ever want to leave this town, but I know there will be a day when I have to. That's a whole other story. But yeah, so this beautiful crystal pendulum, once you stabilize the crystal and you put it over a surface, you can ask it questions, and depending on the way it swings, it will give you the answer. But you have to sort of, in my opinion, establish a relationship with your pendulum and ask it, like how they say, give me a yes, give me a strong yes. And it will go in a particular direction, and then you can say, give me a no. And then ask, for a strong no. And you have to keep playing around with it, and you'll start to learn which directions your pendulum works for yeses and nos. And then I think the next part would be asking questions or asking for the answers to questions that you already know in terms of yes or no questions. So there's that. That can help establish if it's accurate or not. And then I think from there, you can start asking it more in-depth questions. And I think that deep down, supposedly, it has something to do with our muscle movements can manipulate the way that something goes. I don't know exactly what the term is called, but it's kind of like if you aren't clear about something and you consult something like this, maybe, maybe you already have the answer within you and you just need to let it come out. Now, I would never let a crystal like this govern my life decisions. The choice is up to me. This is just a little tool that you can use to help understand what steps you should take next, if any at all. And of course, I have my two favorite tarot decks. As you know, the Mythic Tarot and also the Aquarian Tarot. I might do some tarot readings in the morning to help me understand where I should go. However, I did have, did speak to a medium already, so I kind of just want to let some of the things that she said marinate with me, so that way I can, really figure out what it is that I want. And I'm hoping that Hecate will be there to guide me along the way. And I know that she could appear in many different forms. So that's all I really have for today.